Welcome to Growth Minded Conversations. We're your hosts, Amy Diestelkamp and Paula Grimes from Growth Minded Talent Solutions, where we talk about the real leadership and hiring decisions behind building a growing business. Welcome, everyone, back to Growth Minded Conversations. I'm one of your hosts, Amy Diestelkamp, and I'm here with the wonderful Paula Grimes. How are you today, Paula?
I am doing great.
Awesome. So today we're talking about mindset and the different kinds of mindsets that show up in ourselves as leaders, in our team members, even in our family members and friends. Everything we do is driven by our own internal mindset. What are some different kinds of mindsets that you come across?
I'm going to start with growth mindset because that is the name of our company. That's what we believe in.
When I think of someone with growth mindset, I think of someone who stays in curiosity, who asks questions, who goes internal, right? Reflects on themselves and how they show up in the world, how they relate to others, and I guess maybe like tries to put themselves in other people's shoes, right? To think through a situation, not just how they would handle it or approach it, but they think about how other people might perceive it and are curious about that. Why would other people think one way differently than I do? What do you think about when you think of growth mindset?
I would say they're coachable for that exact reason. They go internal. They go, oh, maybe I can get better at that. Or I never thought of myself that way. Or I never thought about the world that way. So they're open to exploring different ways of thinking.
When it comes to problem solving or learning a new skill or being in a situation that they've never been in before, how does someone with a growth mindset show up?
Learning a new skill, and we all learn differently. Growth minded people will usually jump right into that and start learning it or figuring it out in whatever way works best for them. So that's another thing we need to be careful of, is because somebody might learn different than us doesn't mean that they're not growth minded.
Yeah.
Some people are experiential, like they need to go out and try different things to learn. Some people go and watch a YouTube video, right? And it's like, oh, okay, now I know how to do it. I just watched this video. Some people need to go read a book and need to like think it through and really be in their head about it.
I'm laughing because you say this, and this is literally the conversation I have with my two sisters. So I'm the oldest of four. I have two younger sisters and a younger brother. The brother's the baby of the family. And he will call one of us and ask, hey, I'm moving up across the country, or I'm negotiating a new job offer, or I'm thinking about doing this in school. Like over the years, he's called and asked for advice so many times, and I'm happy to give it. We'll go back, we will debate for hours, right? Looking at it from every single angle. And 9 times out of 10, he goes and does it his own way. And I'm like, you did not take my advice at all. I finally learned over the years it's because he's an experiential learner. He wants to understand what he's about to do. He wants to understand other people's perspectives, but he still has to go and try to do it the way he thinks it should be done and see if the things that I might have pointed out or brought to the table or explained to him are actually going to happen or not. He'll be prepared on how to handle it because I've explained it to him, but like he's still going to go try it the way he thinks he should try it. So he's an experiential learner. And like I've gotten frustrated with him. I know my sisters have gotten frustrated with him on it. And now I just, nope, it's his experience. I take nothing from it. I read nothing else into it. He's going to do it his way and he'll figure it out. But it's funny that you say that experiential learner, they show up in all sorts of different ways.
Yes. And truly, the value he's getting from you guys is being prepared for the way he's doing it not working.
Yes, he understands that I may be telling him, like, I have tried it the exact way you are thinking you're going to do it. Like, they're buying a house, Paula. First time home buyers. We have been talking about buying a house with him for over a year now. Have they gone and talked to a lender yet?
No, of course not.
No, of course not. Of course not. And any realtor listening to this podcast knows they know the buyer I'm talking about. And I can't even, as a realtor, I can't even get my own brother to just sit down and talk to a realtor. But I get Zillow links from them with houses all over the spectrum in pricing. I'm like, you have no idea what your budget is. Please go talk to a lender.
And he will when the time
You
is
will.
right.
You
Yes,
will when the
yes.
time is right, but he is perfectly happy to spin his wheels right now and just look all over the place. As long as I don't have to be the one driving you and showing you all these homes, like, yeah, fine, you do it.
Yes. And to your point, he's experiencing the world. He is getting a really good feel for the world around him, what's available, so that when he truly is ready, he will go talk to a lender and he's going to have a really good feel for what the city is like and what's where and what he can afford.
Exactly. He'll already know his areas. He'll already know what his deal breakers are, and now he'll just plug that into his price range.
You could very much say, look at your brother and think he has a fixed mindset.
I think that's my one sister's biggest frustration with him is she thinks it's a fixed mindset. He, whatever I tell him goes in one ear, out the other. He's already made his decision.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the case at all.
And let's
Now,
define a fixed mindset real
yeah,
quick as we start to dive into this, right? A fixed mindset, opposite of a growth mindset, is they don't care about feedback. They resist it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want your opinion on things because their opinion is the opinion.
yep.
My father-in-law used to have a really great saying, don't bother me with the facts because my mind is already made up.
No.
And that he wasn't saying that about himself. He was saying that about there's a portion of the world who is
Yes.
like that. Like you can throw all the facts on me that you want. Like the way I have it in my head is the way it is.
When I think about mindset, fixed mindset versus growth mindset, you can be growth mindset in some areas, some parts of your life,
Yes.
and you can be fixed mindset in others.
Yes.
And so no one person is all growth mindset or all fixed mindset either. Knowing the difference between the two and then being able to like, as you're approaching or working with someone and you're noticing they might be avoiding feedback or your opinion or fact or anything, it might have more to do with the topic at hand or the issue that you're approaching them about, not necessarily about who they are as a person. And if you can help reframe, you might be able to find where they are growth minded and then bridge that gap back into the issue at hand that you want to work on with.
Yeah. I'll share an area that I see myself get into a fixed mindset. I'm really, really good about building out systems and processes. If I've been given, like, Paula, this is your job to build this out, I will have thought about it all. I will have done all my research. When I am now in the middle of building it, don't come into me and start telling me different ways to do it. I become very fixed to the point that sometimes I get feedback around things that would be improvements, but I don't want to hear them because it's like, no, I already have my path planned out. I've already done my research. I've already looked at all the options. Don't start throwing options at me in the middle of it. I get a really fixed mindset in that area. Now it doesn't stay. Once I have it built out, then I'm always like finding ways to improve it. So I'm more open to ideas at that point and options. It's that middle part that I have an issue with. It's like,
Yeah.
no, stay out of my way. Like, I don't care what you have to say right now. This is the way it's going.
I see that you are also a very logical, linear thinker, right? Where it's like the part of the process for thinking of change or making adjustments, that's at the beginning and that's at the end. But I have to get to the end and I have to get through that messy middle first. And if I don't have to keep changing things due to other people's opinions, you can get to the end quickly. And then the little tweaks and changes and adjustments can happen organically as time goes on. But let's at least get the system built and then you're open to making
Yes.
adjustments.
But if you think about if I'm working under somebody,
Yes.
right? And
Yep.
they're trying to just talk about changes or improvements with me, and I'm like, nope, nope. I can come across very fixed.
Yeah.
Yes, to your point, there is a difference between we have fixed mindset in certain situations or around certain things, or we have a fixed mindset in almost how we live life. One of the things I see with a fixed mindset, and this happened recently, and I was like surprised because we hired a new DOO on the team, and she was just coming out of college, and she seemed very excited for learning, for growth, right? Just at that time in her life when she was open to new experiences. And as she stepped into the position and was given feedback along the way around how she could succeed in that position in which she wasn't succeeding,
Mhm.
she actually threw up her hands and quit instead of embracing the challenge.
Oh, wow.
And to me, that is part of having a fixed mindset. When you are growth minded, you see those obstacles, those challenges as opportunities. When you have a fixed mindset and something gets in your way, an obstacle blocks your path, you're like, "Well, I'm done."
I'll just go find another job where they won't bother me with these things.
Yes, yes.
I think that's a really tangible way to think about it is athletes, right? Like you've got athletes who they're willing to hear that they need to improve their technique, that they need to spend more time training, that they need to develop better, different skills, or they're not in the right position on the team. They shouldn't be a pitcher. They should be playing first base or what have you. And they take that feedback and they double down on it and improve. And that's what gets people to the professional level, the Olympic level. It's those athletes that are willing to take that kind of feedback and to double down. No athlete makes it to that level without coaches and trainers who have given them some really tough love along the way and they've absorbed it rather than resisted it.
And I think that's key. It's absorbing it rather than resisting it. Because truly, when we get feedback, when we are being coached around something, the intent of that person is to help us be better. It's to help us grow. And if we resist that and we're like, no, I don't want to step into that space, then they are able to help us. We are actually holding ourselves back.
When you think back to that DOO, when you were first talking about that experience, it sounded like during the interview process, they came across as growth minded, right?
Yes.
They were new to this world, new to this career, and they were embracing the challenges ahead. W- What do you think could have been done differently from a leadership standpoint to maybe identify earlier on if they were open minded or closed minded around this
I don't
opportunity?
know. I've done a lot of thinking around that because with all the hiring we do, right? Whenever something doesn't work out the way we expected, I always go back to what could we have done earlier to identify this? And I don't know. They were showing all the signs, right? That they were growth minded, that they were willing to step into situations that were new. I don't know that if there would have been anything up front that would have clued us into this. Part of the struggle is that there's not a huge work experience. She was just coming out of college, although she'd had some work experience, right? It's not years of work experience. So you also are limited on her experience of life. So she could have been growth minded with everything up to that point, but then she hit this hard thing in life for her. And it was the first time that she was like, no, I'm quitting. This isn't for me.
So true. And that actually brings up a really good point of this is why one, your interview process needs to be thorough because we want to try to find out as much as we can in regards to growth mindset and fixed mindset and all other skills and experiences we can uncover. And it's also why a thorough interviewing process always needs to be coupled with a 90-day onboarding and probationary period of some sort. Now that they're in the role, you have the chance to observe and get to know them in this role and give them feedback and see how they take that feedback and make adjustments.
For our next podcast, I'd really love to talk about feedback and how important it is and what purpose it serves. Because there are
Right.
so many people out there, so many leaders out there that are in fear of giving feedback because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. So let's talk about that on our next podcast.
Sure. I love that. I'm writing it down right now, Paula. Fantastic. So, if you are a leader or if you are even part of a team, helping, contributing to a team, and you find yourself wondering, do I fall in the bucket of someone who's growth minded, someone who's fixed minded? Am I somewhere in between? And you want to learn a little bit more about how these different mindsets contribute to your team, to your relationships in and out of work, feel free to reach out to us at Growth Minded Talent and growthmindedtraining.com. And we've got different resources and trainings on how to change your mindset and how to identify what mindset you might fit in.
All right, growth minded leaders, that's a wrap on today's episode. We hope this sparked some fresh ideas and fueled your drive to build, lead, and grow with purpose. And if something we shared helped shift your perspective, we'd love for you to leave a review. It helps us reach more business builders just like you. Better yet, share this with someone on your team or in your inner circle who's ready to level up their leadership game. Until next time, keep leading boldly, hiring wisely, and training with intention. You're not just building a business, you're shaping a legacy.